Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I will be head chopping this titubans, also known as porcelain plant. It has been a very easy succulent for me to grow. I have had it for about 9 months, and when I got it, it had maybe 10 leaves, so it was quite small. It has grown quite well. The only problem is I left it in the shade and it grew quite leggy. I put it in this DIY cement pot that I made, and it has grown quite well. Today we shall head chop it so I can propagate the leaves and also grow some more babies from the stem cutting. And I want it to be a bit more compact, so I will expose it more to the sun so it can be more compact. This plant does grow quite big, and it is quite a big rosette, but it seems to be just a little bit more leggy than it should be. So I will head chop it, and I will introduce it to 4 to 6 hours of sunlight so it can be more compact. The leaves are quite chunky on this plant. It's very forgiving. You don't have to water it that often. It's been a good plant so far, a good succulent. So I'm going to chop it right here. Careful not to damage these babies. It's got some babies under there. There we go. I'm going to try to save as many leaves as I can. So just got to be careful how I chop it here. I'll just remove this leaf. Let's see how easy the leaves are to take off. I mean, they're so easy. Some succulents, the leaves break at the tip, but this one is so easy. I did not water this plant for a couple of weeks, about 2 to 3 weeks, and as you can see, the leaves are a bit dry, but they will propagate. You have about a 90% success rate with propagating these leaves, if not 100%. So I'm taking some of these leaves off so I have a bit of a stem at the bottom for the roots to form. So there we go. And I'll remove some off of the stem cutting as well so I can get more babies to grow. I will be leaving the stem cutting in my cement pot. It has grown quite well. I've had no pest issues, no problems with this plant. So there we go. I will be using this terracotta pot. I put rocks at the bottom because this pot is quite deep and the roots won't grow that deep or that quickly all the way down. So what I'm going to do is I put rocks at the bottom for also to help with drainage. So I have my black soil. I use this river sand. It's easy for me to get river sand here where I live, so I use a sieve and I drain. When I sieve the sand, I get the fine sand. That's what I use for my pots, for my DIY cement pots, and the leftover gritty material is what I use for my succulents. I just make sure to wash it really well, and this is what you see right here. I'm putting into my black soil. It's very gritty. I have quite a bit of this gritty left over after I sieve the river sand. It's worked out quite well for me over the last couple of months. So I do a 50-50 ratio. I have some recycled soil that I had another succulent in another pot, so I did not throw away that soil. I just put it at the bottom. And then, like I said, I do a 50-50 black sand and gritty material mixture. It's not any, I don't do any accurate measurements. I just kind of eyeball it. So about a 50-50. I mean, I try to do a little bit more of the black soil in there, but I just have to make sure that it's well draining. I'm gonna add a little bit more in here. Just making sure all the black soil isn't lumpy, so I'm just breaking up all the lumps because the lumps because the soil, all the lumps because the soil is a bit damp, so it got some lumps in there. There we go. So I will not be planting it in here today because the soil is damp and the succulent stem is still, it hasn't calloused yet. So I will give it a couple of days to callus, about 2 days, and then I will stick it in there. I kind of just push it down into the soil and it will find its way, and I will not water it for about 5 days. I'll make sure it sits in the soil for a couple of days before I water it because it's already calloused for 2 days. So I just stick it in there for about another 5 days and then I'll start watering it. And this I will be leaving in here. It will also callus in about 1 to 2 days. And I will be watering it normally after that. I normally water my succulents about once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on how the weather is outside. Now these are my propagations from leaf propagations that leaves I'd gotten from that mama plant, and this plant grows quite well. You can get 3 babies to grow from 1 leaf, and these leaves are about 6 months old. I also got them from the same mama plant, and they've grown quite well. As you can see, I am going to plant them in individual pots. Beautiful color. So next I would want to show you my how I mix my soil for my leaf propagations. I have some porcelain bowls here, soup bowls that I put holes in. Just regular soup bowls that I have around the house that I no longer use, or that have maybe cracks or something like that I use for my succulents. So I use rocks, I use stones, I use styrofoam for drainage, and they all seem to work out just fine. Or you can use a mesh at the bottom, but normally or leftover broken pots from terracotta pots. So you can use a mesh if you want to, but I just usually use these, so I'm not putting so much soil. I mean, they don't need soil all the way to the bottom because they're just leaves, so they won't have really massive roots because I will be transplanting them in 3 months anyway. So I use this is my recycled soil from my old succulent that I planted in the garden. That's my green mixture and my black soil that I have there, and mix that up. I couldn't find my gloves at all today. I mean, I have 2 pairs of gloves and I couldn't find either one, so just excuse my hands, just ignore me using my hands. So I tend to put a little bit more black soil for the leaf propagations because I want the roots to kind of grab on easier. So I do about a 60-50 ratio for the leaves, and I just stick them on top just like this. I just stick them on there. As you see, I'm not pushing them into the soil because I want them to callus and form roots just on top. And once they form roots, I will be pushing them down into the soil. And so far, this has worked out well for me. Sometimes I do leave them just on a plate, but I've come to learn that either way, they propagate for me. So I'm going to show you another bowl that I have here. And I just use a concrete nail to make a hole into this pot. I will be uploading a video soon on how I do that. I'm using leftover charcoal from a barbecue that we had because it's also very well draining, and just use that at the bottom with a couple of rocks. You can put either one. Sometimes I use just styrofoam, sometimes I use rocks, sometimes I use charcoal, just depends. And a little bit of my recycled soil, and then my gritty material and black soil on top. There we go. Okay. So like I said, I try to use a little bit more black soil so it's for the roots to easily latch on and grow. And I'm gonna do one more because oh yay, I finally found my gloves. After I looked for them for an hour, I finally found them in the middle of getting my succulents ready. So this one, I have a bunch of sedum that I propagated because they were being eaten by a caterpillar, and also I think they had a bit of a bug infestation in the roots. So I just decided to go ahead and clean the roots really well and propagate the leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and grow those leaves in here. So there we go. Same mixture, gritty material with my black soil. There we go. Okay, so these are the sedums that I have. A sedum Adolphi here and another sedum. So I just kind of stick, these are calloused because I propagated them 2 days ago, but I'm just going to stick them on top until they form roots, just like that. One of them was just a broken leaf that had fallen into the pot, so it was forming roots already. So I just pushed the root into the soil, and I just put these on top. As you can see, I'm just laying them on top, just like that. There we go. So, and this is what it looks like when it's done, and in 3 months I will be transplanting these as well. So here we go. Okay, this is what it should look like. So please don't forget to give me a like and to hit the subscribe button so I can keep you updated on all the upcoming growth and succulent videos I will be uploading. Thank you for watching, and thank you for visiting my channel. Have a wonderful day and happy planting.